many of us are content. This seems to be a perfect time to reflect on our degree of contentment as we are forced to hibernate within the walls of our homes due to COVID-19. But before I proceed, what is contentment? Contentment is a state of happiness and satisfaction. In the Bible, the Apostle Paul realized that contentment is an attitude we learn and not a thing we achieve. Contentment is knowing God's plan for you and believing that His peace is far greater than any problems we're dealing with. It's an attitude of the heart. Once it's been transferred to God, contentment will naturally come. There are several ways we can work on ourselves to try to attain a life of contentment. In addition to asking for God's help in prayer, we can try to change or adjust our attitudes. We sometimes think bigger is better, or the more we have, the better off we are. This can't be further from the truth. Developing this kind of attitude will cause you to go broke. More and more, people choose to chase after happiness and contentment with accumulating more stuff, only to find emptiness, unhappiness, and discontent. According to Doris Mortman, until you make peace with who you are, you will never be content with what you have. After an entire lifetime of wanting to trying to fill my life with beautiful things, in the hope that it would bring fulfillment, learning to simplify, be content with what I have is a huge shift in paradigm. Slowly and painfully, through much prayer and reflection, I can still feel myself being changed, transformed, and renewed. As this process continues, and as I continue to delve deeper into God's Word. So in this video, I've given a quiet bit of thought to this subject of contentment and have discovered the things that can help put us on the path to living a more contented, happier life. Here are my 11 strategies helping me to be much more content right where I am. Number 1 is be grateful. One of my favorite quotes is from Rachel Cruz. She nailed it when she said, "In a heart filled with gratitude, there is no room for discontentment." When you're grateful, you can't help but see all the things and blessings around you, and a grateful heart leads to happiness and peace. This is what happens when we count our blessings. Appreciate what you have and don't dwell on what you don't. Number 2 is stop comparing. Comparing your life to someone else will always lead to discontentment. So many of us get sucked into the world of social media. We see the highlight reels of others and wonder why our lives aren't as seemingly perfect as theirs. What we don't see is what real life is like. We always compare the worst of our lives to the best of what we assume others' lives to be like. But what you see on Facebook or Instagram is not the whole picture. We all need to remember that we are who we are. Nothing's going to change that. What we can change though is how we live our lives. We can always strive to be better versions of ourselves instead of wishing we were someone else. No one's life is perfect. Be thankful for what you have and who you are. Next one is count your blessings. Discontentment can sneak up on us so quickly, often before we even know it is happening. Something doesn't go exactly our way and suddenly we are wishing the whole world was different. Number 4 is live life in the here and now. So many of us get stuck in the past of worry about what's going to happen in the future. I'm definitely guilty in the future thing. I've had to have serious talks with myself over the years about obsessing about what might happen in the future. Again, it's called worry, and it's usually worry over something that I nor anyone else has any control over. But when I stop projecting into the future, imagining the worst and just deal with problems as they arise, life is much better. So live one day at a time. We can definitely learn from the past, but leave it there. It's gone, over, finished. For the future, it's perfectly fine and acceptable to set goals. It's what makes us want to get up in the morning. It's okay to look forward to things, but what most important is to enjoy and cherish what you have now. So many times while we are living in the past or obsessing about the future, we miss what's going on in the now and we lose sight of our blessings. Be thankful. Number five is money won't buy happiness. So many times we look to things to make us happy. It's a form of self medicating. Sure, when you buy something that you want, you feel that feeling of euphoria. Unfortunately, it is short lived, though. It's basically an illusion that money and wealth bring happiness. Now, don't get me wrong, money can certainly make you more comfortable and make life a little easier. But true happiness and contentment run much deeper than that. It comes from inside. Things are just things. If your life is not being fulfilled spiritually or emotionally, no amount of things is going to fill that void.
Hop and stop! Get out your five little ducks. Good job. Went out one day over the hill.
Next one is simplify or declutter. There are a dozen ways to simplify your life. It's a proven fact. When you simplify and declutter your life, you have less to stress about. Well, how do you do this? You ask. First of all, if you're living with too much stuff, it can be overwhelming to say the least. Sell, donate, or throw away what you are truly not using. Keeping stuff around because you may need it someday is not healthy for you emotionally or physically. So try to eliminate what causes you stress in your day to day life. Learn to say no if you are already overextended. I started doing this many years ago and I was amazed at how much simpler and contented my life got. It's okay to do that. So, the social media or the news stress you out? Turn it off. Again, I've had to do this. I became so caught up in the news around election time that I almost became non-functional for a brief period. Turning off the TV and getting offline can be a great way to distress and add sanity back into your life. That is find positive friends. Trying to keep up with the Jones can become all consuming if everyone you know is caught up in the same more mentality. Unspoken competition among friends for the nicest house, most athletic kids, or biggest television, just to name a few, not only breeds discontentment, but can cause true resentment among the people who should be your support system. The Bible is pretty clear on this topic, saying, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character, according to 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33. A good way to make sure you'll never be content is to surround yourself with discontented friends. Instead, find people who are striving for the same goals. My number 8 is take care of yourself. So many times we become nurturers and we forget about ourselves. This can lead to resentment, depression, and fatigue. When we forget to take care of number one, everyone seems to suffer. As a mom, I've been guilty of this. You get so busy in making sure everyone else is taken care of You either think that your needs are not as important or you put them off, never getting around to doing what makes you happy. So for some reason, we feel guilty if we make time for ourselves. Shouldn't be that way, right? We've all heard the saying, happy wife, happy life. Or if mommy ain't happy, ain't no one happy. Well, guess what? It's true, not just for mamas, but for everyone in general. Number 10 is the most important to me, tithing. Giving 10% of my income is an important part of how I manage my money. When it comes to being generous with money, if giving 10% feels out of reach, start with 1% more than you have right now. Aim to increase by 1% every 3 to 6 months until you reach your goal. As you connect giving to your everyday life, you will soon see that you really do have enough. Sharing not just money but time and energy will feel not just more doable but more joyful. Giving from a surplus mindset is not linked to how much money you have. Rather, it is choosing to lead with generosity in all its forms. The list is pray. Prayer is probably the best weapon we have against discontent. It is, at least for me. When I pray and turn my trouble over to God, it's as if a burden is lifted off my shoulders. I have faith that He is in control and has a plan for me each day and every day. We must choose to trust our Lord and choose to be grateful for all the things He has given to us each day. As Paul said, I have learned in anything and everything to be content because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Cast the problem and focus on enjoying, and because I made a choice to find contentment, I was happy. Am I always happy? Of course not. Am I always content? No. But on a scale of 1 to 10, in this difficult period of life, I have to give myself a 9. Why? Because I am loved and I love. Because one of my favorite words is simplicity, and though I lead an extraordinary life, my mind thinks simplicity. Little things make me feel happy and content. I know many of us are not happy with our life situation and for good reason. There are family matters, financial situations, health worries, loneliness for an abundance of different reasons. Adult children stressing you out big time and the feeling of invisibility after a certain age. It is not unhappy situations that steal away contentment, but rather the choice on how to meet the challenges. It is about our attitude. So sometimes self-isolation is the perfect time to sit alone with your thoughts in your library, your garden, your kitchen or bedroom and reflect on how you are living your life. Remember, no one is going to create a utopia for you. It is up to you to create one for yourself. Everyone has the ability to harness personal contentment. Healthy discontent can be turned into contentment. So, think about your gifts, your family, your relationships, your friends, and the roof over your head and the food on your table, and just let yourself breathe and feel content. As Gandhi said, man's happiness really lies in contentment, and healthy discontent is the prelude to progress. Do you ever struggle with discontentment? What are your strategies for dealing with it? Feel free to share them in the comments box below. Well, thank you so much for tuning until the end. God bless and see you in my next one. Bye!